How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Luke, this is Luke Outdoors. Are you tired of wasting money on leads? Well, I wouldn't say wasting, but spending a fortune on leads. Well, I am. I'm tired of spending £2–3 on the big leads and about a quid or so on the other leads. I'm not doing it, I don't want to do it no more. So I've decided I'm going to make my own leads. Just like this little one here. And what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to show you how to make them too, so you don't have to waste loads of money. You can make these out of scrap lead and spend a couple of quid on the coating and the loops, and you could probably make about 30 leads for the same price as buying two. So keep tuning the video. I'm going to do it in stages. So stage one will be melting lead and casting. So that casting is the term pouring the lead into the moulds, and then coating the lead, and then neating them up and all that stuff. So stay tuned and I'll see you in a bit. So here we have the equipment list. We're starting off with scrap lead. You can get this from anywhere. Pliers, we use them to cut the excess lead off. A crucible to make your lead in. Get a decent one. This is a little fuel stove which I got fuel with methylated spirit. A good mould and a G-clamp to hold it all together. And as you can see there, matches as well to light it all together. If you want a more in-depth list, let us know. I also quickly forgot to mention about safety gloves. These are a must. So what I've got here is actually a methylated spirit stove. It's a little stove filled with methylated spirit. You pour it in the pot and you ignite it with an open flame like a match, like I just tried to do then, but it was a bit windy when I tried to light this. So as you can see, I'm going to light it now. As you see, it started lighting. You can see the very small blue flame. And what it does, it actually soaks into jets on the side of the stove, and then it starts heating up very, very quickly. At night you can see it burning a lot brighter, but here you can't really see because it's a bit windy and it's burning pretty fast. So in a minute, what I'm doing is I'm just letting it heat up for the moment, and then I'm going to put my grill on. So the grill is purely there to hold the crucible. I let that sort of sit on there for 2 minutes, just make sure it's not going to go out, and then I stick my crucible on just to get that, starting to get that heating up with the lead, and then I'll put the lead in once it's heated up. So now you can see I've got my crucible. Inside my crucible I've got a little lead ingot which I made beforehand using a mould I can show later on. I'm also putting some scrap lead in from some old weights. Got to recycle because, like I said, we're going to recycle the lead. As you can see, my flames are burning a lot better. Now I'm going to use the preheated crucible, put that on the heat, and let the lead start heating up. So what I'm doing now is preparing the mould. So first of all, I'm going to be putting the mould together like so. You place both the halves together, and then you put the T-bar in if you've got one what is needed. And then what you're going to do now is you're going to clamp it together. I'm clamping it with a G-clamp. You can use metal pair of tongs, which like are spring-loaded. You can use anything. And then what I'm going to do now is start preheating the mould. And what this is going to do is stop the hot lead sticking and sort of setting early, because it's below temperature. So if you start preheating the mould beforehand, it'll make it cast easier. So I just wanted to have a quick look at the lead. As you can see, it's melting nicely. The ingot does take a little bit longer to melt because it is a bigger surface and more dense, but as you can see, it is melting nicely. Won't be long now. So what I'm doing now is pouring the lead. I've already got rid of the slag off the top. I'm going to do it in a nice even stream in a preheated mould. Don't overfill it either because you don't want liquid lead everywhere. Alright guys, so we've poured the lead now. I've let it set for a good couple of minutes now. It's not fully cooled down, so make sure you're wearing gloves. I'm actually putting gloves on as we speak off camera. As you can see now, what I'm doing is removing the mould from the G-clamp. It's already seen a bit loose. I'm hoping it's a good cast. I'm going to give it a little tap, and all I can see is a perfect cast. It's a bit blurry, but you'll see it later on in the video. So as you can see, what I'm doing now is I'm cooling down the lead. I want to take it off the T-bar to make it easily more handleable for me. Some people, what they do is they just drop the lead straight into the water and just let it cool down fully that way. Me personally, I like to have it still a little bit warm, just to handle it a bit more. And as you can see now, we have actually had a decent cast. No rough edges really, so I think that was a good cast there. Right, so now we've cast our lead, it's going to look like that. Okay, so you're going to have a little bobble where
it's like a funnel for the lead to go down, and that's going to stay there, it's going to stay hard. Obviously we don't want that on our leads, so what you're going to do is either get a pair of tin snips or a pair of pliers, and what you're going to do, if you've got a pair of tin snips, you can actually just cut them off, so you just snip them off, or if you've got a pair of pliers, just twist it off slowly, just work it off. Alright, so I'm just going to sit here and I'm just going to do that now for you. It may take a bit of seconds, so I might skip it. So all I'm doing is holding it on the edge so I don't scratch the actual lead, and I've twisted it off. Okay, so these are going to be inline ones, as I like the inline ones. And then keep the little bubble, and that will be scrap lead, like I showed you earlier when I was melting my lead. I use ingots which I melt down. I'll show you how I actually make those in a later video if you like, and use the scrap bits to making more leads. Save money, more money like that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn this rough thing into a nice neat blank, ready for coating. So I'll show you how to do that now. Wow, look at that dodgy camera angle. Right, this is because the tripod's so big and I can't get in. Right, so using a hobby vise or something like that, we're going to put the lead in. And you can do this with a Stanley knife. I prefer to use a file, it leaves a nice smooth finish. So on the outside you can have a seam where the mould are clamped together, and all you're going to do is you're going to gently rub it out. You're not going to put too much pressure because you don't obviously want to start shaping the lead. So as you can see there, all I'm doing is just knocking it back until you've got a nice smooth finish like so. See how that's all gone smooth now? Now we're going to take the bubble off. The way you do the bubble off takes a bit more time than that. Is just going to slowly work it back. Okay, don't put too much pressure because you don't want to obviously start shaping the lead into a different shape. Just slowly round it off like so. Probably be easier with a rounder lead, rounder file, sorry. I like to use the flat ones, they take a bit more off easier. And all you're going to do is just shape it like that. And that's how you do that. It's a nice little shape on that. See now that's all smoothed down. Could be a little bit neaten up on this section here. Just do a little bit more there. Like so. So that's all now shaped off. So now what I want to do is neaten up this tip. Oh, not even in camera. I'm going to neat this tip bit up now. Just going to flatten that off nicely, just round it off on the edges. And that's all you do for your leads, alright? You're going to sit there and you're going to shape them up nice and neat, smooth them all around. Just taking all the excess lead off, all the stuff you don't need. See, I'm not even doing it with two hands. Now I'm doing it with two hands. Taking it all off. There you go, nice shape it. And then one more side is the back side. Obviously it's important that you get all these shaped nicely, because when it comes to coating, the coating sticks nice and even and less chance for it to come off. So there we go, we've got a nice smooth blank now. That's what I call a blank, and that's ready for coating. And what I normally do is either keep them on the side in the pot ready for when I need them, or I coat them straight away if I need them desperately. But there we go, that's the blank. Now let me show you the coating.
Right, so we're back out in the garden, got the stove on again, it's heated up, the flames are on. So what we're going to do is actually going to stick the weight back onto the T-bar. If you're not using one with a T-bar, oh look at that, that was a bit bad. One without a T-bar, use a pair of pliers onto the swivel. So what you're going to do is you're going to start heating the metal up now. What you're going to, God, my accuracy on this camera, I must have been filming through the camera, it's terrible. So what you're doing is you're heating up the lead. You're going to make it so it's just shiny, so it's just sort of like just heating up a bit too more just before melting on the outside. And then what you're actually going to do is you're going to get your plastic powder ready. I actually had a technical difficulty here where the camera fell off the tripod. So what you're going to do, once it's heated up, you're going to dip your lead into the plastic coating, which I've got ready on the side there. It looks like a brown sand. So I think the lead's just getting ready now, and I'm just about to dip it like so. So you place it in, you cover it gently, You're going to be patting it down, make sure it gets in all the crevices, all the creases. And because this is going to be a textured one, what I'm actually going to do is heat this plastic up, as you'll see in a minute, and I'll let you watch it. We're heating the plastic up until it goes shiny, so it's partially melted basically. And then what I'm going to do is actually do a second coat, and this will hopefully extend the length of life of this particular lead. Okay, camera does fall off the tripod again, and we're above the bucket now, and what I'm doing is actually cooling the lead down. If you leave it to cool down naturally, it's going to melt the plastic too far, and it's just not going to look nice. So what I'm doing is swirling in this bucket. As you can see, all the loose plastic sand coming off. That is also a lead ingot I made earlier, and now that's pretty much finished. So what I'll do is I'll leave it in the water to cool off fully, and then we'll dry it off. See you back in the garage.
So I hope you found that part interesting. Just going to adjust the camera a bit. Right, so we've coated the lead, and that's what it looks like now. I've done a little bit of neatening up, cutting little extra bits of plastic off, etc. All that sort of rubbish. So what you need to do now you've got the coated lead, with these inline ones you get little bits of tubing. And what they are the part the line goes through, because obviously you can't do it through that bit, because obviously it's just rough lead. So what you're going to do is just going to push it through, like so, and then give it a little tap, because it might be a little bit tight. Like so, so it comes through. See, that's just a little bit of plastic was blocking it. I'll trim that up in a bit, and then get the other side and just push that in there, like so. Give it another little tap, and there you go. One nice, I think this one's 1.5 ounce, maybe 2 ounce inline lead, ready to go. I find these flat pairs are excellent for rivers. They're heavy enough to hold bottom, and they're flat so they don't roll. And I like the silty mud colour as well, because a lot of the places I fish have got very dark bottoms, a lot of silt, that's a lot of mud, so they work perfect for me. I'll make some more. I'll make some more of these ones. Maybe put them in another video. Just the dumpy leads, the flat leads. I'll make one of those, so I can show you how to do those as well. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you did like that, give it a like. Let's see if we can get 15 likes on this video. Share the love, as I like to say. And then I'll see you in another video where hopefully I'm out by the water again using the leads I've just made. So I'll see you then.